9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. Ashley Jackson about the action. SFL news, come and join with interaction. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, you will leave with satisfaction. Yeah, tell your team and tell your captain. Come and tune in, new episodes weekly. You can tune in from your room in afternoons, and when the moon hits, it's unique. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker.
What is up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight, or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And of course, I am joined with this the host with the most, Mr. Nathaniel Diggs, aka Diggy. How you doing?
Good. Regular season's over. Playoffs are starting, so I'm excited and ready to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be some fantastic balls to watch. I cannot formulate words today. I don't know what is going on right now. But as you mentioned, week 14 was an absolutely fantastic week to behold. A lot of seasons ended, and a lot of playoffs are just about to begin. Great matchups too. So we are going to talk about week 14. Diggy's going to give us our final Were We Right? And we're going to be talking about the playoffs that start this weekend, right? Wild card round. Awesome. We're also going to be giving a few shout outs since it is the end of the season, just giving a few shout outs to some people and things of that nature. And then our hot topic question will be, how early is too early for a player to announce that they are going into free agency to the public? And how early is too early to talk to potential prospects when it's during the season? So, should be a good conversation. Fourth and goal interviews will include Sonny J, kicker from Houston, newly free agent Tyler Faulk. It's going to be a great conversation as well. I'm also going to have co-owner, Hall of Famer, strong safety, and head coach Eddie Gauge. So, Diggy, let's get started with week 14. And this is how week 14 went down. So, the Motor City V8s took on the Queen City Corsairs, where Motor City won 24-17. The Charleston Predators battled the Carolina Skyhawks, where Carolina won 29-13. Portland Fleet won their game over the Vancouver Legion 13-9. The Seattle Nemesis won their game over the Los Angeles Lakers 27-24. The Louisiana Revolution won their game over the Jacksonville Kings 33-20. The Florida Storm battled the Atlanta Swarm, where Atlanta won 45-30. DC Dragons took on the Baltimore Vultures, where DC won 44-38.
the Minnesota Legends battled the Sioux Falls Sparrows, where Sioux Falls won 30-10. The Houston Headhunters battled the Alamo City Artillery, where Alamo City won 19-10. The Denver Nightwings took on the San Diego Mavericks, where Denver won 24-23. The Indianapolis Ramblers won their game over the Tulsa Desperados, winning 26-24. Las Vegas Fury took on the Arizona Scorpions, where Arizona won 45-21. Canton Classics battled the London Knights, where London won 33-20, and last but not least, the Fort Worth Toros battled the Mexico City Aztecs to crown the King of the South, where Fort Worth won 38-27, and Fort Worth is now the King of the South.
2-1. All right, Diggy. So, tell us who won Worry Right this season for the regular season.
Well, before you can start with the overall, you have to say last week, week 14, right? So I was 10 out of 14. You were 6 out of 14.
Okay, and you still okay? Go ahead.
I just came up 4 games short overall. You ended up winning it, but congratulations on that. I would have had, even if I would have got a perfect one, we still would have just tied. So
yeah, we would have shared the crown. But
yeah.
I told you I do this.
Hey, it's okay. It was okay. 4 games off isn't that bad for what we do. So
technically it's 6. I know you're trying to take that extra 2 from me from last week, but technically it's 6. But
no,
right.
There was only one. There was only one last week, and like I said, if you have a test at school and there's 5 questions and you're like, I didn't answer one of them, is the teacher going to give you a pass on that, or is it an X and you missed it?
They're gonna give me a pass.
Okay, and your
and if my co-host realized that there is an error in something, or something did get sent all the way, which is exactly what that was, I copied and pasted, and I didn't paste the last 2. But if my co-host that said I love being on the show, I mean, there's a lot. If he lets me go out like that, then what does that say about him? So
it's not my responsibility to put your picks in for you.
No, it's not. But if I am messing up, or if I, hey, this don't look quite right, Ash, you should check it.
I didn't count it. Until the end because we didn't do it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sent over. So I didn't look at it until we started getting results from all these games, and I was like,
I know what you tried to do.
She missed one.
I know what you tried to do. It's okay. I'll take my belt though.
You know what this is? This is pleading the fifth. But no, it was out of the 154 games that we picked, you got 96 correct, and I got 92 correct. So we were both rocking around the 60%, correct for the whole season. So next year we'll get a whole season, because I think due to sickness and stuff like that, we ended up missing 1 or 2 weeks to add in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
good stuff, man. Good stuff. But let's move on to week 14. So, what game stuck out to you?
I started out with QCC versus Motor City. Both defenses played extremely well, but the V8 offense was able to capitalize on some amazing offensive plays when the opportunity presented itself, and they just caught the defense off guard. So this game, it honestly could have went either way, and both teams played their hearts out trying to get that win to end the season, but the V8s just played a little bit better. They always say it's 1 or 2 plays that can make or break a game, and the VA hit on those plays. So they went ahead and won it 24-17, and QCC ended up going winless on the season. Both teams did good stopping the run outside of the end zone, and had some good 3rd down conversions. So shout out to Shane Kaufman, 8 receptions, 173 yards and a touchdown, as well as King Rashid in that defense. There were so many pass deflections there, and King Rashid came away with 2 picks. QCC shout out to Deezer Powell, 9 receptions for 164 yards, grabbing some attention and allowing Tony into the end zone there, and Doug Spelling, got into the end zone. So congrats on the win and a well-played game. You could tell, QCC really wanted the win. It just didn't work out.
Indeed. They did put forth a valiant effort towards the end. One of my games that caught interest, especially since I had a few of the players from the South Division, owners and players from the South Division on the show, and they were trying to proclaim who the king of the South was. And we found out that was actually the Toros, Fort Worth Toros, because they are now the division champions for the South. So, as Ramos said, whoever wins is going to be the king. So, there you go. We're going to talk about Houston taking on the Alamo City Artillery, which was a fantastic game to watch and make my notes a little bit more clear. All right. So, great game between Alamo City and the Houston Headhunters. I would say that the reason that Alamo City won was because they played a more balanced ball game. 182 yards passing, 177 yards rushing for 359 total. When it comes to turnovers, they caused a lot of turnovers for the Houston Headhunters. I mean, from 5-1, they held the ball longer versus Houston with 23 minutes and 51 seconds. So, of course, that's natural. If you keep taking the ball away, of course, you're going to have more time with it to do great things. And they told me that they were planning on making the playoffs. They told me that they were going to make a splash, make an impact. That's exactly what they did. They had, Alamo City had 3 points in the first quarter, 3 points in the second, 10 points in the third, and 3 points in the fourth quarter, whereas Houston did not score anything in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter, a field goal in the third, and nothing else. So clearly they had the better game. That's all there is to it for that. Shout outs would include for Houston, Greg Corky coming up with a touchdown on offense. On Houston's defense, they had 2 sacks made by linebacker Garrett Evans and defensive end Alex Perez, and 9 tackles from cornerback Corey Mednick. Alamo's wide receiver Greg Soto had 1 touchdown and 107 yards. Alamo City's defense, cornerback Mickey McGuire and free safety Albert Begin coming up with 2 interceptions apiece, and strong safety Jukin Rukin had 1. Defensive end Yogi Barr had 2 sacks. So, Houston did a fantastic job. They had a fantastic run towards the end of the season, but just fell a little bit short. So now Alamo City makes the playoffs. Diggy, who else you got?
Okay. The second game I did was Vancouver and Portland. Another game where both defenses stepped up. There was 11 turnovers in this game, lots of field goals. The only touchdown came in the third, and it was a grab by Ezekiel Love. And this game almost went to the half 6-6, but it ended up being 6-3 because Portland missed a field goal there. And Vancouver had a chance to come back at the end of the game, but McLean grabbed his second pick and sealed the deal for him as Portland, grabbed the win here 13-9. And you know how Eddie is. Eddie was in the call on this game in the booth there, and with how much he loves defense, he enjoyed this one. So,
absolutely. Another game I'm sure Eddie loved was the Arizona Scorpions taking on the Las Vegas Fury and winning that game, 45-21. So that was a large scoring effort on Arizona, and defense was fantastic this game against Las Vegas. And it kind of tears between the two of us as far as who wins and who loses, and the margin kind of tells a story in itself. When Las Vegas is at home, seem unstoppable, but they play a different ball game when they're on the road, especially against us at home. But Arizona had 370 yards passing, 130 yards rushing for 500 yards total. So we played a more balanced game versus Vegas's 285 passing and only 15 yards rushing. So defense was able to stifle the run game, which they were utilizing against us when we lost to them earlier in the season. Third down conversions was also good on our part. Over half of our third downs were converted versus theirs at 25%. The time of possession was very close, though, very close. Only about 2-minute difference. Specifically, Arizona had the ball 22 minutes, 20 seconds, and Las Vegas only had it for 20 minutes and 20 seconds. Both teams had a turnover, but where we really shined was in the second and the third quarters. So, quarter one, Las Vegas had 7 points. It had 7 points in the second, no points in the third, and again 7 points in the fourth quarter. Where Arizona scored 7 in the first, 14 in the second, 17 in the third, and 7 in the fourth quarter. So scoring in all quarters matters. Doesn't matter. Every time you have the ball, if you can score, do that. But the takeaways helped tremendously as well, and even stifling or pushing Eric Price back as many times as our defense did definitely made a difference in this game. Shout out to Las Vegas tight end John Blaze with 2 touchdowns and wide receiver Doug Britton with 1 touchdown. Doug was a fantastic player this season. He definitely made a difference in that as third wide receiver. On defense, shout out to strong safety Max Jackson for that 1 interception that he got, and 10 tackles. And defensive tackle A.K. Jones came up with that. So congratulations to y'all for that. Arizona's offense, though, running back DJ Moses had 1 touchdown, 230 yards. Wide receiver Connor Weston had 2 touchdowns and 200 yards. That was impressive. And wide receiver TJ Punk came up with a touchdown of his own. Arizona's defense, cornerback Everett Garrison had 1 interception and 4 sacks from defensive end D.D. Sacks, 3 sacks from defensive end Alex Constantine, 2 sacks from Hunter Norwood, and 1 sack from defensive tackle Hunter Norwood, and 1 sack from defensive tackle David Tilley. So as I said before, this was a fantastic game all around. You never know how these games are going to work out. Big shout out to our defense. Also, special shout out to Arizona Scorpions O-lineman EJ DeQ and O-lineman Sean Crooked, cornerback Skinny Washington, and J.R.Lawless, as they are retiring after this season. It was a pleasure to play alongside you as my teammates and my brothers. And I believe I recruited all of you to come over here too. So, and I even got EJ out of retirement to actually come help. You guys are going to be missed. You will always be Scorpions at heart, and this will always be home. Try not to get choked up yet, because I love those guys. Special shout out to Cliff Allen, that's going to be testing free agency as well. I hope that you find what you're looking for out there, Cliff. You've been a fantastic member of our ball club as well, and you're going to be missed too. Diggy, what you got?
Well, I'll be quick with the defense stepping up this week. I was extremely happy to see that. He's been talking a little bit how for the past couple been kind of fell off a little bit or fell below the expect. Hang on a second. The internet's saying something again. All right. Okay. I know, like I said, felt like the defense hadn't played up to par the past couple weeks, and for that to step when we really needed it, I was glad to see it. Always glad to come in. We knew we wanted to try extra hard this week because of how we went in the first game we played on this season. and we felt like, hey, we made a mistake. It's on us. They scouted us well. They played us well, not taking anything away from them. It was a great win for them and a very tough loss for us. And we just wanted to come back extra hard at the end of it here. And that, like I said last week, I wanted to get a win rolling into the playoffs, get the loss out of the way. And I told you, I said I was okay if we would have lost out, to get Eddie that win and get Eddie an even bigger mental win with best franchise record for him, and to give him that steam to roll into the playoffs is good. So that's what I wanted.
Absolutely. So hopefully he'll take the rested time that he's given and actually do that, rest up, and playing well. We believe in you, Eddie. Remember what last week when you said that something special was made for you and you wanted to check and see if it was okay to share? Did you ever do that?
Let me message right now.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, so Paulie Truth hit me up. He GM and now owner of the Seattle Nemesis. Well, he was on my show and he was talking about Jerky Pro, and I'm like, listen, if you're going to be, talking about this Jerky Pro and this is your sponsor and how you can use Nemesis and get, percentage off of your order, if you better give me some. So he actually sent me some Jerky Pro. And while you are checking on that, I'm going to check this out. So, first of all, thank you, Paulie, for this. I really appreciate it. And he asked me what kind of flavor I liked. And I told him, maybe it's a little something spicy. I like teriyaki. So he got me teriyaki flavor. All right. So I told him that I was going to try it either on the show or do like a little separate show for it. So I said, why not? Diggy's checking to see if he can show his gift that was so graciously given to him and I'm super excited about. But I'm going to share mine. So, smells good. First off, as soon as you rip it, you can smell the beefy goodness in here. Oh yeah. Jerky Pro teriyaki beef jerky.
All right.
3-ounce package. Okay. Paulie, I hope you watching this because my face is not gonna lie. Here, Diggy, you want some?
Is it chewy?
No. Actually,
Okay.
Some jerkies are really salty. This is not. You can really taste the flavor of beef.
No, chewy. Like, I don't like the chewy stuff. I like the real jerky. Like,
I mean, it does have a little chew to it, but it's not like stuff I've had before. It's not like chew of it.
all right.
And it tastes really good. It's not as salty, which I can appreciate because there is some jerky I have that's like 600 milligrams of salt or something crazy. This only has 190 milligrams. And
you ready?
Yeah. Huh?
All right. You ready?
What'd you say?
I got the go. Go.
Well, I guess I never should have started on that because that was actually really good. No.
So.
All right. So playoff starts this weekend, and it will include the wild card round.
You just gonna skip past that?
Huh?
You skip past it. I said I got the go. From Mike, he said. He said I could. Yeah. You got all wrapped up in beef jerky. Can't be that good.
Jerky beef shit. Well, here I offered you some, but you won't move down here to get none. So I mean, what can I do? You could be my neighbor right now.
Mike made this. It took him a while. He had to take everything apart and redo it all, and it's missing the logo, which is good because I'm showing it on here. He didn't get the 100%, but he got me a football figure and took it apart and painted it So it's got the little field thing here. He put my number on it. This is when I played for QCC. But he did the whole back, put my name on the back and everything. So this guy has been sitting on my desk since I went and saw Mike there. And
that is great.
I appreciate it. Now I need one from my time in DC there, and I need me a Scorpion one, Mike. So get to work.
Mike, come on, man. I didn't know you was making those. Can I get one, please? But shout out to Mike Churchill for doing that. Awesome job. And I think that brings another element to the game too, to actually be able to have your own little action figures just sitting right there on your desk, to remind you of why you joined. Love it. I love it. On to playoff action. Now, the wild card round starts this weekend on Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and will include the 10th seed Indianapolis Ramblers taking on the 7th seed Vancouver Legion. Both teams are 7-5. Diggy, who you got? I'm gonna let you go first.
I think I'm gonna keep on rolling. Indy pulled it out last week, so let's see what they can do. So I'm gonna go with Indy on this one.
Ooh, okay. This is a tough cookie. And to me, it was a toss-up game because both teams show problems. Both teams show why they could win. Vancouver has a little bit more experience in the playoffs, Andy and company, versus Chad. At least on the coaching side of things. So I think for that reason, I'm going to go with Vancouver. I think that to me, this is only my opinion. When you talk about playoffs or in the season games, it really comes down to coaching and it really comes down to experience. And you see proof of that every season, I think that, of course, Indianapolis has what it takes. They definitely have the pieces to get it done. It's just about which coach is going to get better gameplay. And I think Vancouver will. I don't think they're going to win by much by any means, but I think that they're going to win. Saturday, 9 p.m., the 12th seed, Alamo City Artillery, 7-5, will be taking on the 5th seed, Minnesota Legends, at 8-4. Diggy, who you got?
This one's really tough for me. I was looking at it before the show started, and I was really kind of shocked to see how Minnesota played last week. So, and ACA's been doing pretty good. So I think I hate to do this to my guys over there, but I think I got to roll with ACA on this one. I'd like, my heart wants Minnesota to win, but I'm pulling for ACA on this one. I think they're gonna win.
Whew. That is that's tough. I totally understand what you mean. Alamo City has like 5 different people that's scouting for them. I'm not sure how many people Minnesota has, but Minnesota has a better record, and they have been. They had a run where they were pretty much unstoppable. I'm actually gonna go with Minnesota on this. I think Minnesota's gonna pull it off. So, Sunday.
I hope for them they do.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, some teams we would rather play against than others, but at the same time, any given Sunday. Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the 11th seed, Las Vegas, 7-5, will be taking on the 6th seed, London Knights, 8-4, and they're going to be playing in Queensland.
I'm gonna go London on this one. Vegas has been very tough as well, but London's just gonna pull it out here. Like you said, playing in Queensway is a hard play, so not many teams. I think what they said, no team has beat them twice at home. Isn't that what they said? So yeah, I mean, it's got to be done eventually, but I'm gonna go with London.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with London as well, because of the fact that they do whenever they are at home, they play like a totally different team. They click on all cylinders. They get Robert Merrill involved. Johnny is making, his throws, his dimes. However, disclaimer to that, Las Vegas will pick you off. So Johnny will definitely have to play a cleaner game than Las Vegas, because they do have the pieces that will pick you apart. And if they let Doug Britton get out, they're going to have some issues. So they can contain that, they'll win the game. Last game will be 9 p.m. Eastern. The 9th seed Tulsa Desperados, that are 7-5, will be taking on the 8th seed Carolina Skyhawks, 7-5. Ooh. This is a tough game too. I'm gonna let you go first.
It'll be a tough, but I got faith in Carolina and what they've been doing over there, so I'm gonna rock with Carolina. It might be different next week or the next round here, but I'm gonna go with Carolina on this one.
I know why you said that, and they do have a lot of different pieces. They played phenomenal ball this season. Tulsa, also have those moments of brilliance where they can get things done when you least expect it, especially when you have Gabriel Manning. And if you got to kick to him and the game is on the line, you might have some issues.
Yeah, but then, Carolina's had a fight in them all season too. They coming back, staying in it. So it's going to be one of the better games.
Absolutely. They're definitely a different team they have honestly ever been, that since I've been in, ooh. I think I'm going to go against the grain and go with Tulsa. Everybody's been going with Carolina. It makes me nervous because Carolina does have those moments where, they have fantastic, drives, but then something goes wrong, So hopefully that curse is broken on them. And if they come out with a win, I'm still going to be happy as heck for them. But I think I'm going to go with Tulsa on this one. So bye week members, everybody just sitting back watching time pass right now. The number 1 seed Atlanta Swarm sitting at 11-1. Number 2 seed Arizona Scorpions sitting at 9-3. Number 3 seed the Fort Worth Toros sitting at 9-3, and Kings of the South. And the 4th seed Baltimore Vultures sitting at 9-3. So 3 teams sitting at 9-3. One has only lost one game all season. This is going to be an interesting matchup. So we'll see how everything shakes out. But hot topic question. How early is too early for a player to announce free agency? And how early is too early to talk to potential prospects during the season? The thing with free agency, if let's say if your team is out of it, they're not going to understand you are announcing free agency, right? Your team, no more games to play. Cool, you're done. But if your team is already in or is in the playoffs and you announce free agency, to me, I think you should have waited until your team lost or until the end of the season is over with. Because if you're a high value player, you're someone that people are seeking anyway, you're going to get picked up regardless of whether you say it right now or later. But I think it becomes a distraction for your team if you announce your free agency too early, because now you got people that are like, okay, well, I should be focusing on the playbooks, but now I got to find somebody to replace this person, you know? And that's just my thoughts and opinions about it. As far as how early is too early to talk to potential prospects during the season, I think anything really, really before week 10, I mean, we got 14 games, so you can even push it to week 11 or 12, but week 10 should be the earliest that you start reaching out to people. Earlier than that, it's like you are distracting me from my team. You're distracting me from what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And you don't want to give the other team owners that, because I'm sure the players will go back and say, hey, or maybe not, but most of them will go back and say, hey, so-and-so tried to talk to me, you know, and it's only week 6. Like, bro, can we get through the rest of the season first? We ain't even halfway through, you know? So I think week 10 or later to talk to people. And I think announcing free agency after your team is done playing entirely is the best move. But Diggy, what do you have to say about that?
I think this is a spot where we kind of disagree, and I think, you know, it's a good insight to, I mean, because we're both on staff with, you know, Arizona, so I mean, it shows that you can still have different opinions within an organization and still get things done and get along with it. My opinion on it is free agency. I kind of look the same way as somebody retiring. And when do they say they're retiring? A lot of people say, hey, this is my last season before the season even. So we're gonna free agency. To me, the sooner the better, because hang on, this internet tonight, man. Hang on a second. Okay. The sooner the better. Okay. Internet, sorry about it jumping around, but back to what I said, I can kind of agree with you on some parts being too early, because it's like, why'd you even come back for another season? Okay, so at least if a team checks up halfway through the season, what are you thinking, Ryan? So halfway through the season, I can see that's okay. Go ahead and announce it. That gives your team that you say you respect and care about enough time to kind of figure stuff out. So that's the way I'd go with that. As far as talking to other players, like you said about week 10 is okay. 9, 10, I know people do it earlier, but then you just run into the mess of if somebody slips up and says they're somebody, throws the contract into jeopardy, it throws all that stuff. So I can agree with that. Midway to 3/4 of the way through the season, start kind of trying to fill those spots, you know. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, to each his own, you know. And it's, you know, you get one season contracts, you know, for a reason. So if you want to explore, do that, you know. And you're right, you definitely need to let your team know that you say you care about it, that was, you know, let your team know early. But as far as letting the rest of the league know, you know, we're in the playoffs, bro, just wait. Literally. But
well, on that, I think this season is kind of an exception. You know, we're switching to the new game, and some people have certain feelings about it, and you know what I'm saying. Any time right now is a good time, because it's not just a regular off season. This is, you know, how many people you got, teams that have good usually, and then maybe one season or one every other season that retires or leaves, and now you've got some teams with 3, or you've got some teams that are going to have probably more than that, and that's a big hit if they're not used to it. So being able to get out with the information early and there and fix that before the big push over to next season and trying to figure out everything that goes into that. There's a lot of work, so let's get it.
Gotcha. All right, everybody, we're moving on to 4th and Goal interviews coming right up. And welcome back to my 4th and Goal interview featuring Mr. Sonny J. He is the kicker for the Houston Headhunters that has had a phenomenal season. Despite what their record shows, they actually made a hell of an impact after going through what seemed a lot of kind of adversity at the time. So, Sonny, how are you?
I'm great.
Oh man, good to hear. So, Sonny has been on my show before, actually a couple times. But for those that did not get a chance to see that show, Sonny, give us one interesting fact about yourself before we get started with all the good stuff.
Actually, not too long ago, I think it was before I would have joined, I had a double lung and liver transplant back in October 4th of 2020.
I remember that. I remember you leaving because Sonny's been here for, he was a player before. I'll let you tell that story.
Yeah.
But he was a player before, and I had him on the show, and I was really happy. And then next thing you know, I didn't hear from him. Like, it was just like ghost. And I was like, what happened to Sonny? And now that I know, I'm glad that you came out on the other side of that. Well,
yeah.
No, that couldn't be
It was
easy, but
hard times.
I bet. But you look strong, you look healthy, and you look happy. So I'm happy.
I am too.
So tell everybody about your time in the SFL and in its entirety.
All right. So, starting back, it was. I always forget the season. I just remember the game. My buddy showed me. It was the championship game. It was Mexico City was in it. I forget who they were versing, but I don't remember who they were versing off the top of my head. But we were watching that game together, and I was like, wow, like, this is, like, cool. Like, it's like football on Sundays, but with fantasy teams and, like, controlled by actual people. I thought it was super cool. So then after the game and everything, like, months went by, and I was like, hey, do you remember that football that you showed me? He was like, yeah. And I was like, you know what it's called? And he told me what it was called. So, like, I looked it up and everything, and then I seen that you could join. So, like, later that summer, I was working for my one buddy, my family, in a game shop. So I saved up money and I signed up, and I started season 12 as a tight end for the Denver Nightwings. The name I chose at the time was Hiopo Kinloha. Why I chose that random name, I don't know. I wanted to stick out, but sometimes even when I was trying to pronounce it, I was like, okay, let's stick out a little too much. But even then, so much has changed in the SFL. I mean, I remember that rookie season of mine, I had to literally be on Discord all day and all night chatting with people, just making random conversations to get my chat rank up so I could boost my draft stock. And I mean, I miss that kind of, talking to people, because you kind of have to talk to people then. Now it's kind of like, you don't really have to.
Right.
So, I mean, because now my rookie season with Houston, they had the SFLm, the minors, which I played there for Salt Lake City. Time there was great. I didn't play long there because I joined super late into the season. I think I played 1 or 2 regular season games, and then I found out the Salt Lake was in the playoffs, and I was like, oh well, I guess I'm in the playoffs now. And we ended up winning the championship that season. I actually have my ring upstairs on my dresser. Definitely plan on adding another one to my collection, hopefully shortly.
Okay. Love it. And, you know, it's funny because you and I were in the same class, still had to do the exact same thing. We only had that one game, you know, that you had to showcase your talents.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
So we had that one, you know, that one game where we had to showcase our talents, and then you get drafted. And so
yeah, it was the All-Star game. Not the All-Star game, but it was like the rookie showcase game.
Yes, the rookie showcase.
Yeah, I didn't do so hot that game.
You know, we had a lot of good players in season 12 that came. You know, we had a lot of good rookie class members. Reggie Streeter, you know, a lot of good people that we are the only two, well, maybe just a couple of the two that kind of stuck around for various reasons. But you know, that was actually a good time. I kind of wish that we would go back to the chat rank thing, but you know, they're like, hey, we just paid the subscription and you're fine, you know.
Right.
So, but that was some good stuff. But tell me, so you played for Denver, and then now you're playing for Houston. So what is some of the similarities and differences that you notice in the locker rooms, and even in the coaches of the team?
Well, I don't remember a lot from Denver. Okay. Because like, I don't know, it was long ago. But the one thing I do know that similarity is, and I think it's just probably has to do with just the SFL in general. The teams are like, they're really connected. Once you get into the locker room and everything, you get to know each of your guys better. Like, you guys really do become like sort of a family. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that it's the same. So I'm guessing it's probably like that around a lot of the teams. Mm-hmm. And I think that just has to do with the SFL. And that's one of the reasons I love the SFL. Because, you know, yeah, it's cool to come play football and talk to people. But even outside of the SFL, when people got, you know, personal lives, you know, new jobs, they having kids, like, they share that with you. And it's just a special bond and memory you always have.
Okay. So a better question about your team particularly. What makes the Houston Headhunters such a special organization that makes you want to stay and come back every season?
The coaches, the team. I know I keep going back to that, but it's just they help you so much. If you need help with anything, you know, rather that's you're upgrading your player, like, what do you want? If you want an idea, like an idea of your player, and you kind of are stuck and you're like, what should I upgrade, or should I save progression this week? Like, you can always reach out to your team and they'll help you with that. Like, it's not a burden to them to help you. Or, you know, if you're going through something, you know, in your personal life and, you know, you just kind of want to air it out, like, your team's usually there for you. Like, I've not had one person yet, you know, regard something I'm saying because of personal life. Like, they're always there. They're always understanding. And then this team something special about them. They gave me my chance, and I'm always that person of, you're giving me my first opportunity. Everybody else passed up on me, you know. Like, the team, I've had multiple teams interested in me before the draft. I think I had 4 or 5. And every pick that go by, I didn't hear my name. And as soon as I heard Houston already had their guy, I already knew. I was like, wow, they're there to talk to me. They said if I'm on the board, they're going to take me. I'm like, that's special to me because they didn't go looking for somebody else. Even though at the time, it's a funny story, I thought I didn't play enough in the SFLm. I want to play more in the minors. But after I already talked to Simeon about signing with the Headhunters, I was like, hey, you know, I'm kind of thinking about going back to the minors, and let's just say he wasn't too happy about it. At least I don't think he was happy about it, because he kind of didn't yell at me, but he was kind of like, wow, like, I'm giving you an opportunity here and you're just kind of want to go back to the minors like that. And I'm like, I just didn't play long enough. And then he's like, listen, I believe in you. Like, we'll help you if you need it. So, like, if you come to us, trust me, we'll make you a good player. And at that point, I knew he was serious and I knew he had faith in me. So I'm here to stay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I think that's important when you show, when your team shows you that loyalty, you know, and then they find someone that is just as loyal to add to their organization. That's a sense of comfort. That's a sense of knowing, like, hey, I have this person that is going to help make my team the best that it can be. And that's good that you found it, you know?
Yeah.
So have you been helping out, or do you, maybe later on down the line, would you be willing to help out with more in regards to your team, like maybe doing some social media stuff, or maybe doing stats, or are you already doing it?
In the beginning of when I got signed,
Mm-hmm.
I had this little logo maker on my phone I downloaded and stuff. And like at first I was just making logos for the team to use as wallpapers and blah blah blah. But then Simeon texted me and asked me if I wanted to be a social media designer. So at the time I said yeah, I didn't have much on my plate. And I was doing the stuff for our Instagram, our Twitter, and stuff like that, designing things, posting like, each holidays and everything, and big games and everything like that. But as time went on, I got, busier, and then I ended up having 2 jobs, which I still currently have. So trying to balance 2 jobs, plus keep track of what's going on in the SFL, plus keep our social media updated. It was getting to be a little too much, and he was like, hey, I'm just letting you know that we have a guy who wanted to be our designer for our social media. If it's too much for you right now. And I messaged him and I was like, hey, listen, I appreciate, you letting me know that you have somebody else, because it is becoming a lot and I want our social team, to be on the top of the game. So if somebody else can focus on it more than I can, have at it. So at first I was doing something, but in the future, yes, I would like to do something for the team. Okay. Once I, calm down with my 2 jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, having 2 jobs anyway. That's crazy. So
I don't have time off usually.
Exactly. Unless you can kind of schedule
if I do,
it.
It's that one time off, I'm rather cleaning my house, cooking, mowing the lawn, something.
Oh man, adulting is.
Yeah, hard. I was just talking about that the other day. I said, I remember when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an adult. Now I'm an adult and I would do anything to go back to being a kid.
Absolutely. Go back to when all you had to do was worry about what outfit you was gonna wear.
Yep.
Or what dinner was gonna be, that kind of stuff.
I'd come home, play my games, play with my action figures, and I was set. No, not no more. I gotta worry about where my electric bill money is going to come from, what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to sleep, is my house clean? Yeah.
I get
it's
that.
It's a lot.
It is. But Sonny, before I let you go, I got a few questions. I got a few fun questions for you. Now, since you haven't been exposed to these, this is going to be really interesting. So, name one person that is either dead or alive, famous or not, that you would like to have one meal with, and why?
There's a professional wrestler called Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. He's alive. He's still active in AEW.
Okay.
I just want to have dinner with him because I see like his character on TV he's kind of a cocky, like bad guy kind of.
Okay.
But there's like interviews and stuff with him, and he acts in character off screen as well, so he's kind of a douchebag to you in real life. So I think a dinner with him would just be fun.
Okay. You're stranded on a desert island or a deserted island, and you only have 3 things with you. What are they and why? Do you have them?
I don't have it on me actually right now, but upstairs I have a necklace with my dad's ashes in it. That would be with me 100% just because the sentimental value of it. I would think a knife because I would need something to get food with. And then rather a pot or a bucket so I could cook food in.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. That answer varies. So, if you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I always think about this every day. I don't know why, but I always think about it. The answer like every day for me switches too. But if I had to eat one meal the rest of my life, okay. So if I say pizza, could I have like pepperoni pizza one day and then cheese the next day?
Yes, you can have whatever kind of pizza you want.
Okay. Well then I'm gonna go with pizza. Yeah.
Okay. Because you can have the variety.
Yeah. I was gonna say that or tacos, but pizza definitely.
Well, you're in good company with both of them, so have both of them. If you had a time machine that could go back to the past or forward to the future, which one would you choose?
The past, 100%.
Why?
Just because I miss the good old like days that I remember growing up.
Yeah.
Again, not that it's a long time ago, but 2000s, like playing like the PS2 and everything just seemed like it was good. And not saying today's bad, but so much has changed. So much seems like it's going to go bad, and you don't know the future of this world. And I don't want to go in the future and get stuck there because if I don't like it, like, I don't know. And I'm just familiar with the past. I like going back.
Okay. So if you had a chance to explore the ocean or space in depth, which one would you choose?
That's a hard one. Because I'm like not scared of the ocean, but I'm scared of what's in the ocean because we haven't really explored any of it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't even know what space is like. I would say personally for me, the ocean, just because I'm interested in what's in the ocean and the space and astronomy stuff. I ain't really into all that.
Okay.
But what's in the ocean it'd be fun to explore.
Gotcha. Which one is, in your opinion, the best game day food? Wings, sliders, or hot dogs?
Wings.
Why?
Well, sliders, I don't know, sliders you can kind of get a lot of places. You know, they're just miniature burgers. Let's be honest. I mean, they're not bad, but if I want a burger, I want a burger. I don't want a slider. Hot dogs, they're not bad. They're a little plain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's good classic food though. I will say that. I do like a hot dog.
Okay.
But wings are they're messy. They're gooey. You get 2 different types, you know, the bone-in or boneless, but I just count them as premier nuggets. That's what boneless wings are to me. I don't really like them that much. And I don't know, there's a lot of flavors you can pick on wings. Gotta go with a mild wing though, because I like mild wing the best.
Okay. So, a genie grants you 3 wishes, but none of them can directly affect you. What are those three wishes?
None of them can affect me.
Yeah.
Can they affect my family?
Yes.
All right. Well, then I'd wish for my sister not to have cystic fibrosis anymore, because that's what I was born with, and that's the whole reason I had to get a double lung and liver transplant. There's no cure for it at the moment. But she's doing good. She's not like doing bad or anything with it, but you know, it's still a burden to have. So that would be my first wish. Second wish, I would say end world hunger, but you know, because that's a typical answer somebody would say. But there's like a lot of stuff that could go wrong with that.
Yeah.
but definitely would, wish for better living for others, as in more houses being built, more food opportunities. And then my third wish, kind of weird, but I want the Browns to go to a Super Bowl, because we keep getting close and it's not happening. And I want to happen at least before I die. I'd like to sit there, and I would have watched the Browns win the Super Bowl with my dad, but he's no longer here, so he couldn't see it. So I want to see it at least.
Okay.
So I could tell him when I go up there, they finally did it. So hopefully that comes true one day.
I hope so too, dear. I mean, I'm a Falcons fan, and I'm hoping Falcons and Bears fan, so I'm right there with you. Close but no cigar. And when we was there, you messed it up. So, what is one movie that you can rewatch over and over and over again and never get tired
of? Okay, a class. I'll do two for this, just because I have two answers. Okay. For classic movies that I grew up watching, what was it called? The Benchwarmers.
Yes, I remember.
Baseball movie. 100% that one. And a newer movie that recently came out called 5 Feet Apart, because that movie's about cystic fibrosis. I've already watched it like 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. But it's just interesting to watch it, and from an outside point looking in, of how they describe what living with CF is like. And the movie is pretty accurate on some parts, but there's bits and pieces here and there I'm like, it don't happen like that, but okay. I get it.
Okay, so what, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly is cystic fibrosis?
It is a chronic disease. It is born with, you're born with it because you get one gene from your mom and one gene from your dad, and then that's how the two genes come together, and then that's how you're born with CF. But CF affects the lung, liver, and pancreas. So pretty much a normal person's lungs, they can expand fully and everything, and they don't have anything congested on them or anything. Mm-hmm. But when you have CF, your mucus in your body gets really thick, so it gets attached to your lungs, and then it gets trapped in there and gunks it all up and makes it harder for your lungs to expand and breathe. And then for your pancreas, since all that's messed up, your pancreas tends to, a normal person's fat cells go in their pancreas and out and everything. Well, with a CF pancreas, it kind of stores all the fat cells in it. So it's really hard for someone with CF to gain weight. So we have to take something that enzymes that help our body absorb the fat better. Because when we eat fat, anything that has fat in it, we absorb everything except the fat, and it just kind of goes out. So it's hard for us to gain weight. We normally have to get put on feeding tubes for a majority of our life. I never had to, but my sister had to when she was little. And every case is different, as in, for me, my lungs got impacted a lot more than anything else. Where in my sister's case, her stomach and her pancreas got affected more than her lungs have. So that's also weird, because I remember when I was her age, I was coughing up blood and everything because how bad my lungs were. And her lungs are not even an issue. It's more her pancreas and her gaining weight. So that's even weird seeing that point of view from it.
Well, I thank you for educating me on that.
No problem.
Because I've heard of it before, but I didn't know exactly what that all entailed. And
yeah, it's definitely a lot. I mean, there's multiple books about it, but me having it, it's just kind of obviously it's second nature to me. I know a lot about it, and everything that comes with it and the side effects of certain things. So I've been living with this for 23 years now. So I have no problem educating anyone about it, because I like to get the word out there more, because a lot is not known about it. Like I said, there's not really a cure yet. I mean, there's pills that are pretty much almost a cure. It kind of stops it from progressing where it's at, so it won't progress any further. Them pills came out a little too late for me, because it was already kind of impacting me a lot, but my sister is on them. So I think that's another reason why she's doing so well. So hopefully one day, there'll be a cure. Hopeful thinking.
Yeah.
Because, sad, but there's still not a cure for cancer, and that's been out for years upon decades. So, hopefully one day.
I hope so too. Or maybe if there was a different way that you could eat, or things that you could eat that would help maybe minimize the mucus that's in there,
right.
Things like that. Maybe that could help. But yeah, I'll say a prayer for you and your sister.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I do have 2 more questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose between only having a cell phone or a car for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
Well, I actually don't have a car at the moment. I have a license and everything, but I just use my girlfriend's car when she's not using it. But
okay.
But saying that, I would honestly probably say I'd want a car more than a cell phone. I mean, having a cell phone is cool and all, but that also has side effects. You're also witnessing all the drama on social media and stuff, even though if you don't want to be part of it.
True.
And not saying, social media is a bad thing, because it could be used as a good thing, but a lot of it is just drama, hackers, a whole bunch of that stuff. So I'd definitely say a car, more freedom.
Exactly. And plus you can drive who you need to see. Just
right.
Drive over there. Last one. What was the best prank someone has ever played on you, or you have ever played on someone?
I gotta think about this for a second.
No, take your time, man.
I mean, there's one time when I was a kid, me and my friends, we were outside playing this one time, and it was April Fool's Day, so I should have saw it coming when I was a kid, but my little self was not going to think my own mom would pull an April Fool's joke on me, but she brought out these sandwiches, and it had it was just like a sandwich with, peanut butter jelly, almost like.
Yeah.
Except the peanut butter wasn't peanut butter. I forget what it was, but whatever it was really spicy. And we were all 9, 10 at the time. So we were like, oh, food outside, all right. And we just chowed down, but it was weird because the spice didn't kick in immediately. It was kind of one of them things, 5-10 minutes after you ate it. And I remember we all ran in the house and we're like, why is all of our mouths on fire? And then she showed us what she put in the sandwiches, and we were like, why would you do that? So a 9-year-old me did not think my mom would pull a prank on me, but yeah, she did. I can't say I didn't have it. I was pretty bad when I was 9. I was a little rebellion self.
Oh, really? You were that causing trouble?
Yeah, I was. It's weird looking back at my younger life, and I'm like, wow, I really was a handful.
I mean, but you're not that far removed, right? How old are you?
Yeah, no, I'm 23.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
But it's funny.
I just turned 23 on April 3rd.
Oh, happy belated birthday then.
Thank you.
But it is weird how you feel even though being 9 wasn't that long ago, you feel like it is. You feel like
I do feel like it's a while ago, but in the same token, when I look at my little sister, which I don't even know why I call her my little sister anymore, because she about to turn 18 next year.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, she just got her license 2 or 3 days ago, but I was just thinking, I was like, wow, I remember just yesterday, you were down on my knee, and you were just following me around, doing whatever I did. And now, not that I barely see her, but she has her own friends and doing her own thing now. And I'm like, I don't ever get to see you like I used to. And back then I used to, get away from me. You're my little sister. Go do your own thing. And now I'm like, hey, why don't you come hang out with me? I ain't doing nothing.
Now we know how moms feel when she, come spend some time.
It's the same. Yeah, same for her. Obviously taking care of us from 0 to 17, 18, and now she lives in her own house. I live in my own house. I see her on holidays. And I go to her house here and there, but it's not like we all live together anymore. I mean, she lives with my sister, because my sister still lives with her, but she's like, you never come to see me anymore. I'm like, yeah, I do. I just don't come as much as you'd like me to, but that's because I have my own house and I gotta worry about things going on in my house.
Yeah.
That's why I like holidays so much more now, though. I will say, when I was little, holiday was just an every other day, but a little special. But now it's more special to me, because holidays you could get together with your family, and everyone can see each other you haven't seen in forever. Eat, talk about life. So like back then, holiday was when I was a kid and younger was just an every other day. Christmas, I got gifts. Now I'm like, I don't really need gifts. I just want to hang out with everyone and talk and see how everybody's been doing. So it's nice. Nice. I don't know if it's like I see my own growth in me or what, but it's nice.
That's what it is.
It's nice.
Sonny, this is fun. Of course, I invite you to come back on whenever you want to. It was fun catching up with you because it has been a long time.
I think my last time here was right after the draft.
Yeah. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. I don't know why y'all been waiting years to come back.
I don't know 100% if it was after the first game I had, but I know it was right after the draft.
Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I was sitting in the hospital bed.
I want to say yeah.
Yep, I was in the hospital bed.
Yeah, so I do wish you the best of luck in life and the best of luck on Houston next season. I believe that you guys are going to turn it around, and it's going to be on a brand new game, brand new look for the SFL. Speaking of which, how do you like? Do you have any experience?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of things about it. I like it. I think it's gonna take time for me to get used to.
Yes. As
in like everything, because like I said earlier, it's kind of weird. The SFL has definitely came a long way since I first watched it. Exactly. Actually going back, like I was going back and watching some of the old stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is like not hard to watch, but I'm like, it's weird because like it looks so like low key and not that professional to where now it's like, wow, it looks like you're watching an actual sporting event with logos and graphics and I can only imagine it's going to get better from here. So
indeed,
it's definitely it's super cool to look at. I like it a lot.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the new changes. Everything, if the seasons can change every year, then change is inevitable.
Right.
So. Yep. But you have any questions for me before I let you go?
Not really.
Okay. No worries. Well, I cannot let you go without giving you at least the last word. So that could be a song or a poem or just a simple shout out right now. Sonny, the floor is yours.
I just want to say thank you to everybody in Houston for, everything, for giving me a career in the SFL, to helping me progress my player to where he can kick 50-yard field goals. Even though I don't kick many of them, I still can. Remember that, Simeon. I can kick 50-yard field goals. All right. Other than that, I do want to give a thank out to Denver for, bringing me into the SFL. I haven't played for there for a while, but I always have black and blue in my heart still.
Love it.
And if there's ever a chance I do come back, I will 100% take it. But for now, Houston is my home, and I will be there for a while.
Awesome. Good deal, Sonny. I'm happy you're healthy again. I'm happy you're happy, and I wish you the best in everything you do, brother.
I appreciate it.
All right. You have a good one.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're back with my fourth and goal interview featuring a good friend of mine, Mr. Tyler Faulk, aka Matt Ryan. He is strong safety for the Louisiana Revolution. Well, used to be. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Ashley. Always good to talk with you. Glad to be back on the show.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back, man. Glad to have you back always. So, first, before we get into all of the juicy SFL stuff, I would like to, for anyone that has not seen your show or our shows together, give us one interesting fact about yourself that you would like the community to know that you may not have given me.
Oh boy. So I've talked about Mike Ryan being a player homage to my late great family friend Mike Ryan, Chief Master Sergeant in the Air National Guard back in Minnesota. Really good personal friend of myself and my dad. I've won a few golf tournaments before I joined the military back at my home course back in Minnesota. I've talked about that. What else? What else can I say? I mean, I've got a flat cap. I've got a collection of flat caps. I've got a collection of golf shirts because I'm a golfer. What else? I mean, everybody who's watched Axis Live or has occasionally seen my furry friend, aka Buck the Black Cat, come up and around. But what's an interesting fact about me? I haven't really talked about my high school experience a whole lot. Which really actually changed my life for more ways than one. Coming out of middle school, which was a pretty tumultuous time for me, battled through a really dark place in my life due to bullying, and actually was part of a movement during middle school to help combat bullying in middle school. But coming into high school, didn't know exactly what to expect, and everything turned around even a month before I went into high school proper for the first time, and that is when I joined the marching band. Was part of the trumpet section for all four years, but my brass family and marching band really took me in under their wing, and in fact, I was the only new freshman in the brass section for my high school marching band, and so I got the loving nickname, which I took with me all through high school, freshman. Even when I was a senior in high school, I was still known as freshman, and still known as freshman to my friends in marching band to this day. So really fun time in marching band. And yes, did go to band camp, aka it was called Heat Week for us. But I miss those guys. Trumpets were always fun. Go brass. And yes, I still play trumpet to this day.
Nice, because that was going to be my next question, because I was in the marching band and I started in 4th grade, and I played all the way up until I graduated high school. But I was in the marching band, jazz band, and all that too. But it was fun. Heat Week or band camp was not. I mean, when you're inside, chilling and reading your music, that's one thing. But when you're out there running around doing push-ups, running up and down the bleachers with your instrument in hand, and I don't see how the drummers did that. The guy with the bass or the tubas. The tuba players, no.
Yeah.
No.
And in our marching band, we didn't have the sousaphones, the ones that wrap around your body. We had the big old honking, close to a ton weighing tubas, which they pulled up on their shoulder. But when you're not playing your tuba or a baritone in the marching band, it's down. You have to hold it with your two hands. So imagine all of that weight and doing that. It's just insane what those guys can do in marching band. And there's professionals out there. The Minnesota Brass. We've got the Blue Devils. So many different professional organizations. DCI championships up in Indianapolis yearly are some of the greatest bands you will ever see. I highly encourage, if you're at all interested in music or interested in marching band, check out everything that they have with DCI. I know we're talking football, but marching band is a part of football, especially in college football. So if you're looking to take college football field shows to a whole nother level, check out DCI. You will not regret it.
I mean, it is the entertainment for people that wasn't there for the game, So totally understand. You had the drill team up front, doing their little thing, and so it's a fun time, and it's a great way to learn a new language, so to speak, because reading music is a language all its own, and make new friends and just have a different sense of teamwork and camaraderie. Versus like a team sport. So it was good stuff, man. We actually got a few people that's been in the marching band. So, but on to SFL things now. We alluded to this earlier, that you are no longer a member of the Louisiana Revolution. First off, what are your thoughts on the season as a whole and how they utilize your play, Mike Ryan?
Mike Ryan was a cornerstone of the Louisiana Revolution defense, alongside Tank Bennett, who he has had the utmost privilege and honor working alongside him for the past 4 seasons. Tank is one of the greatest safeties in this league, and alongside Dante Grimm and the rest of the quarterbacks, Rahman Hood, to name one in particular, we form the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Interceptors, and had a blast in that backfield. Our position group was phenomenal. It's hard leaving a good locker room, leaving those guys and gals in Louisiana. As for the whole, Mike Ryan could not have been more better utilized. Me leaving has nothing to do with Mike Ryan's positional, because in my personal and humble opinion, Mike Ryan has always come last as a priority in this league. It's been broadcasting first. Whatever the team needs me, Tyler Faulk, to do, whether it be stats, scouting, or most recently with Louisiana and having the utmost privilege to do and work alongside one of the best general managers and owners, Ross Napoli, as the assistant general manager in Louisiana. Anything I'm able to do to help the team, I'm more than willing to do. And Mike Ryan, he's just there. He's there because he's needed. He's needed as a player to help the team continue. And he's able to adapt and overcome just like any member of the military, and he would have told you that if he were here today. But it's more important that the members of a locker room, and more important that the members of the entire organization, are on the same page, in which Louisiana is on the same page in all facets of their leadership. So leaving Louisiana was a very tough decision. It was not made. It was not made with a split-second decision. This took weeks of pondering. In fact, multiple seasons of pondering. Each season we go into contract renewals, and for the last 4 seasons, I was dutiful to Louisiana, even up until the final day of our regular season, which actually turned out to be this past Saturday. And more importantly, I think I and Mike have been more than faithful to the organization for 4 seasons. I told Ross and Gerald I would stay with the team for at least 3 seasons, and here we are, 4 seasons. I let the team know midway through the season that I would not be returning to Louisiana, and gave them plenty of time to go out and start recruiting for Mike Ryan's replacement, whether that be moving Dante Grimm or Tank Bennett over to the free safety spot, or going and picking someone up in free agency. But because they were so courteous to me and so outgoing and so respectful to me as a player through these last 4 seasons and 2 years, and because we have such a great friendship, myself, Gerald, and Ross, I think they deserve to know in advance notice of what was going on, what my intentions were, and how to best go about this for the sake of Louisiana and for the sake of Louisiana's fans. To the fans of Louisiana, to those that are in the locker room and outside, I thank you for the past 4 seasons. You have given your support to Mike Ryan and to the rest of Louisiana, and I hope that you do continue your support for what Louisiana Revolution stands for and what they represent to the community. And again, thank you for your support during these past 4 seasons and beyond for the Louisiana Revolution.
And I'm always, my thing is this: we have 1 season contracts for a reason. If you as a player decide that you want to explore other avenues, explore other teams, you have the right to do that, you know? And I bring that up because I noticed that you got a little bit of flack in the chats recently after you had posted that announcement. And I'm going to ask you, how do you ignore those individuals? Like, what do you do to kind of block out all the unnecessary noise that sometimes comes when you are a free agent, because, you know, some people can offer their opinions that can be very hurtful. Sometimes you can get opinions that are helpful in trying to find the team that's going to suit you. So how do you block out all that noise?
So for the most part, I will have to say that the overwhelming majority responses have been vastly positive. They're looking forward to seeing where I go. They're looking forward to see, you know, where Mike Ryan goes and what we do next. There's been a few instances. I won't say it's all been positive. There have been a few instances that are saying, "Oh, you're leaving Louisiana. Why? Why are you leaving Louisiana? Did something happen?" And for all intents and purposes, there was no hard feelings, no negativity in in how me, Ross, and Gerald all talked to each other. This was all done positively. We became friends even before I joined Louisiana, and we plan on staying friends even past this. Me leaving Louisiana will not affect that relationship in the slightest. This was due to me personally deciding, you know, IRL, I'm moving. Falsey headquarters will not be San Antonio, Texas for much longer. In fact, less than a few months from now, I'll be somewhere other than San Antonio. And it almost felt like, you know, the SFL's going through a change. I'm going through a change. I think this is the most opportune time for me to seek new experiences, to seek new opportunities, and to see what else the SFL has to offer. Because though loyalty is a great thing, and it makes so many teams greater because they know who's coming back each and every season, i.e. Baltimore and Florida, two of the best teams this league has to offer, and they do it because their people are loyal to them. There's teams that are newcomers like Minnesota and Indianapolis who have kept people around for these past 2 seasons and have really gained a fantastic opportunity to become powerhouses in only their infancy as franchises, and it comes down to that. But I also believe that if you're not content where you are, and if you want to see the rest of the SFL and you enjoy your time with your current organization, there's a conversation that needs to be had with ownership. And Ross and Gerald have given me their blessing and giving me this opportunity to pursue other avenues because of that respect. So if you want to see other places, want to experience something else, a new locker room, maybe a fresh start, then it's your right, your responsibility to seek out that opportunity, and that's what I have done. This has no ill will toward Louisiana. I am, a majority of me is sad to see me part from Louisiana because of the locker room, because of the friends that I've made as a part of the revolution, and it's heartbreaking to go, but I am hopeful and eager to see what happens next.
Well, anytime you've been involved with a team or even in a relationship for years, you've been there for 2 years, like real time, 4 seasons. That is, you know, that's never easy, you know. But I think it's great that you guys ended where it's understanding there is no hard feelings, because, you know, when you do have that animosity lingering, you do have all of the negativity that can sometimes come with making that choice to be a free agent. You know, it can kind of have wear and tear on you and the team. So it's good that you guys did it, you know, the good way this time. Now, quick question. If you don't want to answer it, I understand, but I feel like I have to ask this question. How is this particular, you leaving Louisiana different from you leaving San Diego?
And I will answer that question because the two scenarios are completely different. With all due respect to Optimus and Liam Hammer, who I had a chance to work with in Louisiana. Liam is a fantastic guy. Optimus is a great guy. Liam has shown that he is a great guy in Louisiana, and even in San Diego, was a great coach, was a great leader. In San Diego, however, it had to be said, there was a cult of personality that was cultivated, and I was not a fan of it. I tried to say a few words, but was immediately called out. And looking back on it, there were some words that I said that I shouldn't have. And I have gone on and apologized for it numerous times. The way I left there was sudden, unannounced, and in some cases disrespectful to San Diego and to Optimus. And the way I did so on my former show, Netma, which may or may not be coming back in season 21, depending on what happens with my new job, my new assignment. But this situation with Louisiana was completely different. There was mutual respect. There still is mutual respect. There was a plan in place to leave, and there was proper time given to everyone involved. And the way I left Louisiana is the way I'd like to, I hope I don't have to do it again, but if I do have to do it again, do it in a similar vein, do it in the same kind of respect, do it in the same kind of humility in that regard. And I wish nothing but success for Louisiana. I wish nothing but success for the new regime in San Diego. And I wish nothing but respect for Optimus in Florida. It's unfortunate to see a great team and a great player knocked out of the playoffs before the final week of the regular season. And I wish him nothing but success in life and whatever he decides to do in the SFL henceforth.
Yeah, good stuff. And if anything, it shows your growth. Right? It shows that, where you kind of left hastily, you learned from that and you grew from that and you decided to do things differently. So I'm hoping people that know that now can kind of like, okay, well, there is some growth there. So like I said, hey, you go where you think you're going to be happy. Listen, we pay money to be here. It's not a free thing. So if you want to explore, do that. And I'm talking to any free agent that's out there, and any rookie that's going into that will be drafted to a team. And if you get in there and it may not be to your liking, don't fret. You got time. Nobody's going to hold that against you. But it is the way that you leave. It is the way that you handle yourself that could speak volumes. For you. So, and plus I know you're going to find a great team to go to, I'm sure your DMs are on fire.
I've gotten a message from it. I won't say who to keep them anonymous, but I've received at least a half of the SFL has already reached out to me, and it's only been a few hours since I made the announcement. So it's been insane. And my DMs are still open. To hearing from anyone and everyone. I've gotten a few insane offers, which I knowing what kind of changes are going to be taking place in the SFL, it boggles my mind some of the ideas that are being pitched to myself. But I will give everyone, every team a fair shake, every team a chance to say what's on their mind if they would like myself or just myself. It doesn't have to be Mike Ryan. If they'd like me to, if they want me on their organization but don't want Mike Ryan because they can't fit him for this season, I'm open to that as well. I don't have to be in the front office. I can just be there on the sideline to help, to coach, to scout, to do stats. I don't have to be a general manager. I don't have to be an assistant general manager. But if that's what the team needs, then I can fill that role. I was mentored, like I said before, one of the best minds in this league, Ross Napoli, who has a mind and a knack for everything managerial-wise. And I could not be more grateful for his tutelage. And to all 27 SFL franchises, me and Mike Ryan look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, look at you. Well, yeah, it will be interesting to see where you actually wind up landing. Because the way they got this game coming out, you cost a lot, Mike. So kind of expensive.
Mike Ryan can take a pay cut. He is all for helping the needs of the team. So, man, the times, they are a-changing.
They are. Hell, we all gonna have to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
So a couple more questions SFL related. Now, the top 10 teams, if I'm hoping that this is, as of right now, has been updated. So let me see. Your top 10 teams are Atlanta, Baltimore, Arizona, Fort Worth, Minnesota, London, Las Vegas, Mexico City, San Diego, and Tulsa as of right now. I'm not sure if this is have been updated, but is there anyone that I have named that you are kind of surprised that actually made the playoffs?
I mean, just look at the turnaround for Atlanta. That for all the way up to now, clinching the number 1 seed. What a performance from BDG and Bryant Dynasty and the rest of Atlanta. And now I'm on the outside looking in that East Division. Even as former East Division rivals, it was phenomenal to see their rise once again to being the pinnacle of the SFL pyramid this season. And rightfully so, back in season 14, Dunhill leading them to a championship. And now here in the final season of APF, they get one more chance to shine on the SFL stage as the number 1 seed. What a job from everyone there in Atlanta. Tulsa, 7-5 Tulsa season 19 are out. They're still
out?
yet to, or in season 19.
Oh,
they're out.
Okay.
Season 19. Season 19. Don't freak out Marco Swift or the rest of the Desperados there, AJ, because they're in. They have clinched a playoff spot. They don't have to worry anymore about whether or not they lose here on Sunday night or if they win, because they're in. And for everybody in Tulsa, it's a huge sigh of relief. It's a welcome change of pace for them to not only be as good and better than last season, but to really compete with everybody in the Central Division and really make a case for themselves. At this present time, they still have a chance to win the Central Division. We'll find out later tonight whether or not they have accomplished that or not. But they're going to need Minnesota to lose, and they have to win. And it's going to be so much fun tonight on Sunday's games. It's already happened here in the future when everyone's watching this. And I hope it was a good game. I hope every game here, the last 4 games, was as entertaining as the billing suggests they were. But Tulsa and Atlanta, my 2 surprise teams, and for all the right reasons.
Indeed. Now, is there anyone on this list that you are surprised that is not there?
I mean, easily Florida.
Yes.
Easily Louisiana, for obvious reasons. And when I was talking with Ross and Gerald way back, I announced to them after season 7 or week 7, that I'd be leaving the franchise. My goal, even in the last few weeks, was not to back off and do absolutely nothing. In fact, my workload increased. I did stats for multiple games. I still helped out in the front office as was required of me. And my goal was to help bring a championship to Louisiana my final season with the Revolution. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So 2 teams there, unfortunately, out of the picture. DC upsetting Baltimore to go to 6-6. And who saw that coming? Certainly not Baltimore, and especially how that game ended and all the controversy that was. 20 plus seconds on the clock, kick a field goal, give the opening kickoff of overtime to DC, and they score in 2 or 3 plays, and DC takes the victory. Now Baltimore at present is either the number 2 seed or the number 4 seed, and for the three-peat champs, for the playoffs to not go through SGO Stadium would be crazy. If they're the number 2 seed, they're on the opposite side of Atlanta, and if everything goes the way that seeding goes, they will play in the Hive for the season 20 championship, when the last 3 championships have been played at SGO Stadium. What a change of pace that will be for Baltimore. So a couple teams that I thought were out, Baltimore, shockingly 9-3 this season.
Indeed. I'm like, hey, if they was gonna lose, and why the hell they do us like that? But that's another story. That's another. But thoughts on a new game? Are you excited about it? Have you actually kind of dove into it at all to see what it was about?
So there are a few people that don't like it because of the graphics. Oh, we're moving backward in time with how the graphics are, but we're moving forward. More customization, more of availability for new logos, new brands, all customly made, not by a template, not by what APF allowed us to do. APF was great. It gave us fantastic quality as far as digital aspects were concerned. It was the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era 3D technology was much more advanced than what 4K 23 will be. But we've noticed that some aspects of play just aren't there. They're not as true to life as a more natural field would be, a more natural game, an IRL game of football would be. What 4K 23 does, while it lacks in some of the digital qualities, it will bring a lot more creativity to the playbooks. It will bring a lot more creativity in terms of how we design our players, how we work our players into our system. What kind of trade-offs will we have to give our players in order to reach what will seem to many of us a really restrictive cap? I've heard rumblings. Nothing at this point has been made official. But there will, of course, be changes to progression. There will, of course, be changes to how players look and feel and act on a football field with this new system. Of course, the league will come out with official announcements, and you can keep track of all your off-season notices all in one big place, not just in the SFL website or on Discord, but thanks to the 3rd edition of the SFL Off-Season Hub, which I have been fortunate to upkeep yet again this off-season. Got a shameful plug here, AJ, but if you haven't already, it's a massive, massive collection, a massive database that will compile all off-season data, all off-season team news, all the free agent movings, including Mike Ryan, of course, and of course the draft, the minor league, and everything that has to go on between season 20 and season 21 of the SFL off-season.
That is amazing. That is fantastic. I'm glad that they're doing that.
It's something that started now 3 seasons ago. I thought the SFL does a good job of trying to get everything out, but it can be somewhat a pain to go back and look for everything because you might have missed something. Whereas the off-season hub picks up where the league cannot in some regards due to limitations in other facets. I've come along and made the spreadsheet for the SFL as a whole, for the public, to keep everyone informed, because there's a lot of us that will step back during the off season that will all of a sudden, oh, this person's in this place where they were last season, or what was the draft like, or what happened during the draft? What did that player play what position did that player play in the minor league? So much more. It's all kept in one giant place. Third edition, third season of the Off-Season Hub.
Love it. I love it. I love the creativity. I love that idea, because you're right. A lot of people probably have their notifications turned off and miss some information that is posted. So I'm all for it. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're heading it up. So what makes you come back to the SFL season after season after season? Like, why are you here?
Well, my story is finding the league back in 2020, of course, during COVID, and the ability and the opportunities that give everyday people like you and me to really envision ourselves and become leaders, become broadcasters, become directors of player personnel, general managers, head coaches, and people that just can't, that wouldn't be able to do it on a normal basis. The greatest example to me comes in our late great friend, Matt Wilson. Confined to a wheelchair, Hall of Fame quarterback, best quarterback of all time as far as I'm concerned. And what he did for Mexico City and what he did for the SFL as a whole cannot be understated. We certainly miss you, Matt. And if you're looking for one example, there's none greater than Matt Wilson.
I totally agree with that. When you have people that you probably would have never met in any other aspect, and you find them in a place that's unlikely, we have all different types of people and backgrounds and all of that is here, and they can make a difference, a real positive difference in your life. I think that's why a lot of people come back, and I think that's probably the secret to the SFL, because it's more than just us being avatars on the field. It's about the friendships that you maintain. So good stuff, man. So recently you won an award. Look at you winning awards and stuff. You win, Gerald. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. And speaking of Matt Wilson.
Yes, it's the Matt Wilson Broadcasters Award, right?
Yes.
So how does it feel? How does it feel to actually have that prestigious award? And
Well, for the longest time, it was an unofficial award that was given out to one or two broadcasters a season. And of course, last season with Matt's passing, Mike Daggs, broadcast director, decided to immortalize Matt in another way, a golden duck, if you will, given to the best play-by-play broadcaster and the best analyst broadcaster. And last season, it was given to Ethan Muslin, now of Louisiana fame, formerly Baltimore, and given to my near full-time broadcast partner, Brett Solberg, both of which were thoroughly deserved. Ethan was the man on the call the first week after Matt's sudden passing, and really gave Matt a very well-written, well-said tribute on that game, and really did that game justice and thoroughly deserved the award. Brett, as he has done for the last few seasons since becoming a broadcaster, and even beyond that, and still continuing to this day, being one of the best broadcasters that I have had the privilege to work alongside. And I've said this to him, I've said this to the team. There's the analysts are what make my job so much easier, and Brett did exactly that again this season and last season. I cannot call a game. I cannot be as animated, cannot be as well informed, cannot react the way I do on calls without a fantastic analyst by my side. And Brett did that last season. He did it again this season. And so I attribute my award to all of them. and to everybody here in the SFL. I can only do what I do because of you guys watching and supporting. I can't get as hyped without someone being also excited alongside me. So it's a tremendous honor to get the Matt Wilson Broadcaster of the Year award. And this doesn't stop here. My commentating does not stop this season. I only try and become better with each and every call. And I look forward to calling more SFL games in the future.
Awesome. I hope so. When you first got here and I asked you if you wanted to do that. You were like, well, yeah, you know. And I said that you have one of those iconic voices, like a 1950s newscaster. And you're now winning awards, man. So congratulations, man. Totally deserve
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
So we have some fun questions before I let you go.
All right.
Let's see. What is something that you were very fearful of as a child that you know right now that was ridiculous? I don't know why I was fearful.
What was I fearful of growing up? But we all have little fears. But to this day, it's not really a fear.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot eat mushy peas by themselves. I do not like the texture. I hate the taste of them by themselves. I will never eat mushy peas. They have to be either cold, like in a cold salad, or they have to be mixed in with other ingredients. They can never be on their own. Just cannot stand them.
You mean like the little green peas that you eat with like mashed potatoes or something?
Can't be them by themselves. It cannot be by themselves. I will not touch them. I will respectfully decline them because I do not like them in the slightest. If it's the last thing I have to eat, it's going in the trash. I'm sorry. I'm not eating mushy peas as my last meal.
So I'm gonna need to have you on my therapy couch and try to figure out what happened to you and these peas. Is there a time that you ever wanted to go skydiving or bungee jumping? And have you ever done it?
So I've never done skydiving or bungee jumping, but I would prefer skydiving rather than jumping because bungee jumping is all it's fun, but you're coming right back up to where you started. Whereas skydiving, you're starting off high altitude and you just get that rush.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at people and jumping out, you can't talk to anybody else. It's you, the wind whipping by your hair, and you better pull your chute because that's gonna hurt if you fall on the ground. There's nothing else there to catch you besides a little, fabric canopy. But I would like to go skydiving at least once in my life because it just looks so fun.
How much you had out there? Because my thing is, if you pass out because all that wind is gushing in your face, like who's gonna pull a chute? Nah, I'm done.
That's why you don't go shoot it. You don't do skydiving by yourselves. You have the instructor or somebody else with you that can help pull your chute or your reserve chute. So
yeah, see, no. But if you ever do it, I would love if you have a GoPro and then just film it. I'd love to see that.
I'll make sure I strap on my flat cap nice and tight for you.
I would love that. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your smartphone, which ones would you keep? Now, these apps does include the phone feature and the text message feature too.
Okay. Because my grandparents still use phone and they don't text to keep in contact with family. I can do without text messaging. I would rather FaceTime folks.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep the phone function.
Okay.
That's one. I would keep. Oh man, I've got a lot of apps on my phone. Ashley, I wouldn't need Discord.
Okay.
I would not because of SFL, but I can always call in to Cam or call into who I need to in the SFL and do that. I would. You got a tough question. I don't know where you come up with these questions, Ashley, but they're certainly tough. We've got phone. We've got
Your FaceTime feature.
your FaceTime, so that's 2. And then email. I would keep email on there as well. Keep all forms of contact open. FaceTime would probably be my number 1 on the list to keep because I enjoy face-to-face conversations, even though it's virtual. I'm a very much social person. I can't be by myself. I can go without YouTube. I can go without Discord. I can go without all that stuff. But I want to connect with people. I want to be connected with people, and those 3 apps allow me to do just that.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. You're the first person to actually ask that particular question. Too, so
okay, they're guinea pig now. Ooh.
So, if they're making a movie about your life, who is going to play you in the flat cap?
Me in the flat cap.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't remember his name. Played Troy in High School Musical. A young version of him is probably playing me right about now. In this period of my life. Don't know who I'm going to be later down the line, but I think Troy from High School Musical looks good in a flat cap. So Zachary Efron, there we go. Zac Efron plays me in my movie. So,
all right then. A genie grants you 3 wishes, but none of them can directly benefit you. What would those wishes be?
Okay, cannot directly benefit me. The 3 wishes I would hope for is everyday peace. I'm not looking for world peace. I'm not looking for there to be constant strife, but for those around me to experience peace, inner peace, while they're in my presence. It doesn't affect me at all, but for the time that they're with me, they are comforted. They're allowed to just be themselves around me.
Nice.
My second wish is that as far as money goes, I don't want any of their money. I want them to be financially secure, not stable, but secure, where they can enjoy life. So that's the second wish. I want them to be able to enjoy life financially.
Okay.
And in turn, that all works back with inner peace, with financial well-being. Everyone is affected. And the third wish that I would give would be that when and if tragedy strikes, that they're able to find comfort in that, even if they're not around me. Peace, financially stable, safe, and comfort is the 3 wishes I would give. And it wouldn't be for me, it'd be for everybody else.
Okay. Good stuff. Very selfless of you. So, you walk outside and there's a theme song that's playing every time you walk down the street, and everybody knows that when they hear that song, that Tyler's coming. What is that song?
I have got this song stuck in my head ever since I started listening to it. Back Down by Bob Moses is my personal theme song right now, because it's, to use what the new kids are saying, it slaps. The intro, it just puts me in such a good mood that I'm using that as my intro. That's Back Down by Bob Moses. One of my all-time greatest hit songs that I listen to on a daily basis.
Okay, good deal. I like that. I'm gonna have to check him out, see what she's talking about. Got about 2 or 3 more questions for you.
Okay.
You can only have one meal for the rest of your life. What would it be?
One meal for the rest of my life. So it has to be all-encompassing. It has to maintain good dietary balance. And I think I know exactly what I'm getting. I am getting grilled chicken smothered in white gravy with cream of mushroom soup, a part of it, and a little bit of onion and a little bit of garlic seasoning in there as well. For one of the 2 main sides, I've got garlic Parmesan mashed potatoes, and then steamed or grilled asparagus, which is my favorite green on this entire planet, with a side of bread, butter, and water and milk for a drink. That's my go-to meal right there.
Interesting, because we've often, like my family, we often make soups and really gravies out of like the cream of mushroom. I have like this rice dish that I use the cream of mushroom in, and then you put like, of course it's the rice, but then it's broccoli, it's cheese, and then you bake it all together. And of course you put a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic powder, that kind of stuff, but delicious. So okay, that was interesting. Would you rather have a pause button or rewind button in your life?
Pause. And this is a very physiological question that we often ask ourselves, whether we know it or not. The reason why I will never hit rewind on my life is the good and bad choices I have made me into who I am today. And to change any aspect of that would just be hypocritical. You would always change things to try and make yourself better, and what you will find is actually you make your life that much worse because you try and change things to fit you, not trying to continue to persevere and continue to grow in that regard. If you're always hitting rewind, you will never grow. Pause, because get an extra second to think about something, whether that be your friends or family, a very important decision. That is always more important than trying to fix a previous decision.
Yeah. I've not had anybody explain it like that, so that's good thought process. Last question is a little bit strange, but I'm sure you'll be able to manage it. How would you change your life today if the average life expectancy is 400 years old? So if you were guaranteed to live till you were 400 years old, how would you change your life right now? And I can give you an example. For me, I would take the time out to learn every language, every one that exists. Because I got 400 years. Of course, I got plenty of time, you know? So what would you do with your time?
Well, I think that's a great start right there. Ability to broadcast in every single language. That way you can talk to everybody, and you can appeal to their psyche, appeal to their passions in that regard. So I like that thinking, to learn every language. I would try and make as many memories as possible with everyone. If everyone is experiencing 400 lives, I'm able to grow that relationship over a much more elongated time, a much more expansive timeline. I don't have to worry whether or not, hopefully never have to worry that this time I talk to this person, they might not be here tomorrow, whereas they will hopefully still be there tomorrow. Is the big thing. Our time currently is oh so short, and taking the extra minute in our time, no matter how much time we have, can never be enough, because one day you or them will not be here. So to be able to talk to that person, to form those relationships, to love and be loved is, to me, the most important aspect of life itself.
Okay. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Really appreciate your time. And I lied. I did have one more. If you could explore the ocean or space in depth, which one would you do?
Well, right now, no explorer has explored, or we haven't even mapped out the entirety of our ocean yet. We're trying to send people to the moon and to Mars, which is great and all. But we don't even know what's left lying in the deepest part of our oceans just yet. There could be something that's way deep down in our oceans that we haven't discovered yet that could solve different things. It could solve cancer. It could solve global warming. It could provide us with keys and clues to who we are as a society. Just going and finding those parts in our ocean is to me entices me a lot more than sending people off to space. Though it's all out there. We see the moon, but we can only just glimpse at it, just snatch at it, and only a few select of us have had the opportunity to step foot on the moon. Both are worth exploring. I would explore the ocean first before outer space.
Good deal. Good deal. That is a very interesting question. And just so you know, I'm asking these questions so that people that watch this show, or, they get a good idea about the members of the community that makes it up and how we're all different or how we're all the same. So that's the reason why I did it. So thank you, Tyler. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun like I did. I'm learning a little bit more about you that I didn't know. Do you have any questions for me before I let you go?
Well, I don't got really anything else to say. I am looking forward to free agency, looking forward to see what kind of offers will come my way. And before I go back to game prepping for what should be an enticing Corbin Cup between Charleston and Carolina, I've got one thing left to say, Ashley. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Love it. See you later, Tyler.
See you, AJ.
All right, SFL Nation, welcome back to my final fourth and goal interview featuring my co-owner as well as Hall of Fame strong safety, head coach, podcaster of two different shows, Say It With Your Chest and Streets Are Talking, co-host for Streets Are Talking. I am talking about Mr. Eddie Gage. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Chilling. How you doing, Ashley?
Doing all right. Not a whole lot, man. I know that you are kind of still riding high on that win over the Las Vegas Fury, one of our divisional rivals that seemed to give us a hard time, So how does that feel to win over them? I mean, in a dominating way, 45-21.
Honestly, if I'm being real, at this point, it's not like it. I mean, it feels good that I could bring a win to the locker room for all of our teammates and stuff like that, all of our players. But as a coach, it doesn't necessarily feel good. It's more like aspirin because, we lost 2 straight before that game, including one in which a lot of people are saying we shouldn't have lost. And, it felt good to get back on a winning track and end the season on a strong note. So I won't necessarily say it felt good for my players, but for me, it was just like aspirin to get a win.
So earlier in the season, I believe I asked you, is it important to you, or which one would be more important to you, actually getting a bye week or just playing straight through? And it seems that you actually got your wish as to getting that bye week.
Yeah.
That you wanted. And with the Atlanta Swarm, with Fort Worth Toros, and the Baltimore Vultures, is there anybody that kind of surprised you in being, one of the top 4 seeds in the league this season?
Baltimore, of course, I'm not surprised. I'd be shocked if they weren't in. Fort Worth, the way they ended the season on a high note, since that loss on Monday to London, they've been pretty much riding high. So I'm not surprised to see them in. Minnesota, when they first got their franchise and the draft picks they made and the guys they brought in the free agency and even more important, the coaching staff that they brought in, I guess some would say they were surprised about them because it's only their second season. But I myself, I'm not surprised because they got a great roster over there. They got, great coaches and they got a defense that travels, whether it's at home or on the road. So I'm not surprised by any of those teams.
Yeah, I agree. Now, there are some other teams that made the playoffs that don't usually make it. And there are some teams that missed the playoffs that were actually kind of surprising because we're used to seeing the faces, or their representation, For me, it was Florida. I'm so used to seeing Florida in the playoffs somewhere, Is there a team that kind of surprised you that wasn't as efficient as they normally would be this season?
I was certain that when San Diego brought on Charles as their head coach, that they would be in the playoffs. I know it's his first season with the team, but, I've said it on your podcast, just like I've said it on other podcasts. Charles has a resume that includes a win over Max Paul coach Florida team on the road in Florida. And with all that, it's hard for me not to predict him not making the playoffs. So I was kind of surprised to see San Diego not get in.
Okay. Switching gears a little bit. So the Hall of Fame nominees just came on, came out. And the finalists include 2 of your own. It includes Arizona's defensive tackle, Hunter Norwood, and myself as contributor. What are your thoughts on having 2 people that are possibly going into the Hall of Fame from your team?
It's a great feeling anytime you get representation from your team, whether it be the Hall of Fame or individual awards, team awards, whatever the case may be. Anytime you can get, accolades such as, Hall of Fame added to the resume of Arizona, it's an awesome feeling. So hopefully they get in. They better get in.
Indeed, man. It would be nice. It would definitely be nice. So as a coach, do you find it more, let me see, how do I want to say this? Do you find it more worrisome during the season to get the wins or in the off season?
Say that again.
So do you find it more worrisome, like to get your wins during the season to make it to the playoffs, or after you've made it to the playoffs to stay in it? Like which one is the most like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of pressure?
I would think the most obvious answer is once you get to the playoffs, because there's no room for error. If you lose, you out of there. There is no I'll try again next week. So the most obvious answer is once you get in, but you got to do your homework and everything during the season to get you a spot to the playoff, because it's not guaranteed. A lot of teams didn't make it. Some that, many predicted to make it. So You know, it's a bit of both, obviously. But if I was to have to lean one way, I would obviously say playoffs because it's win or go home. So.
Got to win to get in too. So yeah, I get it, but you know, it is more pressure, I would think. So free agency, there's been a few announcements, you know. How early is too early for a player to announce that they're going into free agency, in your opinion?
Announce to the team or announce publicly?
Announce publicly.
You never want to be a distraction with the team, especially if they have, you know, postseason aspirations, if they're still alive in the postseason. But at the same time, you almost have to get it out there because you got to let other teams know that you're looking for their replacement. A prime example of that is Cliff. Cliff did not want to be a distraction to the team. You know, he let the front office know, and we were grateful for that. And he asked that we keep it private, and you know, we agreed to do that. But then, thanks to an error in judgment between, you know, long story short, Diggs and I had some miscommunication, and I take full responsibility for that because I did not communicate with him enough. And he ended up posting it in the front office channel in the SFL server, or whatever you guys call it over that group chat for GMs. Well, I meant for him to announce it within the Arizona front office. And so it got out there, and literally within minutes, my DMs are blowing up. Hey, Eddie, you know, Cliff's a free agent. What's going on? And I love to talk to you. And other teams are coming to me about, you know, players and GMs across the league are coming to me, and I'm like, oh. So that falls on me, and I let Cliff know right away. Hey, man, you know, we botched it. I'm sorry. But then when I go back and think about it, it's almost as if we have to, because if we don't, potential replacements don't know that we have a potential opening. And so it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So when is the right time? And for me, as long as Cliff or whoever else relate to the team, hey guys, you know, my time here is, you know, as season's end is going to be over with, and I want to give you guys an ample opportunity to find a replacement. I can't knock him for that. You know what I'm saying? So if that's his goal and that's something he wants to do, and then it's our job as a front office to talk to the team and says, hey, you know, Cliff's not going to be here moving forward, you know, at season's end. We have a new kicker playing with us next season. And, you know, and as you saw in the locker room, everyone responded positively about that. So I don't have an issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah. I think a lot of it does have to do when you do it, you know. Announcing it inside of your locker room, inside of your organization as early as possible, definitely is acceptable in my book. Because I think we should.
I think that one thing we did wrong is the locker room should have known first before it got out to, you know, outside of our locker room. I think if you do that and explain why you're doing what you're doing, it's okay.
I agree. And you said it perfectly. It's communication, you know. Having things properly communicated between all sources and all channels will definitely help to alleviate that.
I made the mistake. I'm so comfortable working with you, and you know how I move and I know how you move. And I made the mistake of anticipating Diggs to know how we do things, and that falls on my shoulders. So I take responsibility for that.
I mean, it's a learning curve. It's a learning thing. And at the end of the day, you know, Cliff didn't have any hard feelings about it, you know. But when you're announcing it to your organization, your team, totally fine. Get it out there. Let everybody know as early as possible so you can set your team up for success that you say you love, right?
Yep.
The only issue that I have with free agents, if you are still in the playoffs, right? If you're still competing, that could be considered a distraction from the team, from the coach, because now not only is he concentrating on what he got to do now he also got to think about shoot. That's
what I do. That's what I do.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just think it's time, you know.
Yeah.
Another question, kind of to that point too, is how early is too early to talk to other potential prospects during the season? As you know, we take, kind of account of our team week 10. Hey, anybody planning on leaving? Anybody planning on testing free agency or whatnot? But for you to go and like say, hey, okay, I know cornerbacks who leave, like Skinny. We knew that he was going to retire, right? How early is too early for us to go seek other cornerbacks?
Well, as you said, to elaborate on it a bit, back when the season was 12 weeks, we used to, ask the team somewhere between weeks 9 and 10 and kind of go from there. And the one thing I kind of learned over time is there are a few teams who wait until their regular season or playoff run is over with before they even start. And then there's others who start I've learned as early as week 5, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
But everyone has their own way of doing things. I won't say, one way is wrong, another and is right. So to me, it's just a balance. I mean, I'm not a fan of speaking out in week 5. It's like, dang, that mean we'd like giving up, on that particular individual already or on the season as a team. So I don't know. I mean, now that the season is 14 weeks long, I think weeks, say, anywhere between 11 and 12 is fine with me.
Okay. So you mentioned on one of my shows that you kind of had an issue with how a lot of people had an issue with how the game was brought to everyone's attention. But you mentioned specifically that there are people testing it and that you felt like maybe it should have been open to a few more people, or it should have been different people testing it. Have you received any negative feedback on that in regards to that situation? And if so, how did you handle it?
It is very funny that you say that, because I won't say their name, but this particular individual reached out to me. Was it today? This morning? Or was it last night? No, it was this morning. Reached out to me and we began to talk via DM. And I said, why don't you just call me? Because sometimes messages don't get conveyed the way you would like them to over text. And so we spoke, and it was probably for about an hour and a half, 2 hours we talked today. And they were not happy with some of the things that I and others have said regarding the testing and what was tested, how it was tested, and their conclusion of it, and so on and so forth. And he said some things with his chest, I said some things with mine, and we both, if I'm being honest, kind of met in the middle about it. And he saw some of my points of view that he may not have seen before. I saw some of his. And honestly, we I don't want to give too much away because I don't want people coming attacking them, but let's just say that we both have a better understanding, and at some point in the future we're gonna share those feelings. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, at least you guys worked it out. Well, for the most part, you had a conversation about it instead of sitting there with ill will or ill feelings. about the situation. You know, you guys came together and talked about it. So it's always a good thing, you know? I was wondering if he was going to get some flack about that because I was like...
Oh, yeah. He came in my net.
I know it. No, it did. So Cam announced there's going to be some possible salary cap adjustments.
I hope so. Man, bro. Because that salary is tight, bro. Come on, man. No, man. You
possible possible things like that. With the new style of game that we're going to be playing, money is going to be a major thing for us to watch, especially if the rosters expand.
Yeah.
And if you have missing pieces that you have to fill and you want to fill them with the best players. But do you think that the reason that the cap was set at 25 million, do you think that was kind of to encourage teams to pick up more rookies? Because I know that there's a talk about having all the rookies drafted this season.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that maybe that was kind of the reasoning as to why he was like, okay, $25 million, you guys gonna have to either cut down, people don't want to be on your team, cool, then y'all replace them with rookies, SFLm is cleared out. Do you think that was the motive?
Sorry, I'm multitasking. I just got some bombshell news, and
What is it? Tell me.
I can't right now. But
I'll stop the recording and tell me.
No. So, man, that's deep. But
don't rub it in, bro. How you gonna
I'm
be
sorry.
like, oh, I got
I'm
some
sorry.
bombshell news.
I didn't mean
that's deep. And then when I ask you what it is,
I literally just got hit with them, and it's still kind of hit me right now. But
is somebody else leaving?
I'm not speaking on nothing, man. Calm down. But Cam and Rastelli have often said, Rastelli in particular, that players progress too quickly, and they wanted to make a change in that. So I am not shocked at all that he's tight with the cap as he is. I was not expecting it to be that tight. And because when I got the number of what they were working with, on paper, it sounds great. But then when you actually begin to divide it up amongst everyone, it's like, whoa, come on, man. I understand, what you're trying to do, but man, that's ridiculous. And I can just imagine the conversation that GMs and owners and, front office are going to have with these players when we sitting there telling them, hey, listen, I know the cap says this, and that sounds like a lot, but when you begin to break that down over the course of X, amount of players, it's really not. And I understand you used to playing with, and I'm not even taking animations into account. I'm wiping that out. I understand you used to playing with this, and this. But I need you to shed a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of that, a lot of that. Oh, and a lot of that. And they're gonna be looking like, whoa, hold on, player. I've been around for a long time. I earned that. I've literally paid for that. And now you tell me I gotta cut all of that, and animations are gone. I can just imagine the reaction across the league when it becomes public what's going on. So I hope he is raising that cap, because that's problematic at best, putting it lightly, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. I try not to gripe on it yet, because I try not to harp on it yet, because nothing is official. When I heard that, I'm like, oh no, man, I hope that's not the case. That's not going to get it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, I think people should wait until all of the press about what's going to happen, all of the information that's going to take place actually happens, and then make decisions. Because it may be a situation to where it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. and then you made this drastic decision to do something, and then you're like, oh snap, maybe I should have waited. But yeah, it's going to be some interesting stuff coming down the pipeline, and Cam is going to be on my show and explain all of that, as well as answer some questions that owners had about how it was rolled out and everything else. So it's going to be interesting. That's probably going to be happening around in May sometime, like around the first week of May. In your opinion, what is more important when deciding an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year? Is it their work on the field, their stats? Is it what they do on the field as well as off the field? What matters most? Some people say that that's subjective, but what do you think that answer should be when deciding?
To me, in my inner chat, to me, what up, chat? To me, I can't. There's no way I can take into account if I'm deciding an individual award based off performances. If two players' stats are relatively close, I can't say, say for example, this season, Hunter Norwood, his stats, and whoever else is right there along with him, let's say they're equal. But Hunter also works for Jack's data. And the other person is just a player. I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, Hunter also does Jack's data, so he's my Defensive Player of the Year or he's my MVP. I'm not gonna do that because that's not fair. Okay. To me, individual awards should be based solely on performance and performance alone. I don't know where I weigh at in terms of everyone else, but that's just my opinion. I'm not going to sit there and give it to Hunter because he does Jack's data, but whoever is competing alongside of him does not. To me, that's BS, but that's just my opinion.
Okay. Do you think that with all the hats that you wear, with all the hats that you choose to wear, do you think that sometimes you do too much?
You just asked me this other day. So right now, I'm an owner. I'm a coach. I'm a player. I'm a scout. I'm a coach.
I think you just said that. I think you just said that again.
Owner. Player. I help with stats. I'm on a broadcast team. I'm a scout. I'm a coach. And I do podcasts.
2 of them.
I have 2, but I've never done both in the same week. Or did it? No, I take that back. I've done both once in the same week. I vowed to never do both in the same week during a regular season unless it's a bye week, because I wouldn't think that's fair to my players. Now, if I had someone alongside me on a team, Arizona, to help with stats, I have one guy. Hopefully he's back next season, who helps us with stats. But he came later along this season, so I had to step in and help get that done. But for whatever reason, finding people to do stats in this league is hard. You know, another reason why I was hurt, it hurt to lose Mark Miller because he loved doing stats for whatever reason. In particular, our games, and he said it was because it helped him with his anxiety of watching the game. It got something to take his mind off of it. So it hurt to lose him. But you know, I'm getting kind of off topic here, but yes, I wear a lot of hats, and sometimes I consider not doing broadcasting a couple of seasons. In fact, one season I did take off, but then Dax came to me around week 3 or 4 and said, Eddie, we need you because we running kind of thin over here. Can you help us out? And I came back. But speaking ahead, I'm probably going to take next season off from doing broadcasting, and that's simply because of the new game, and I'm going to need time to
familiarize yourself with it.
Familiarize myself with it since I'm coaching and scouting, and there's so many more plays to scout. I don't know how much time it's even going to take to scout. I got to figure all that out, you know. And right now it's just me and Will doing that. You know, I'm waiting to see if Skinny's going to be with us, so take a coaching opportunity somewhere else, whatever he's going to do, I don't know. But might want to edit that part out, by the way. But you know, so I don't know. I don't think so because the podcast for me, it gives me something to take my mind off of coaching. Mm-hmm. And you know, the podcast is generally only an hour and a half, at least Streets of Talking is. The other one tends to go long sometimes. But I probably won't do Say With Your Chest next season, during a season, unless it's a bye week, because Chad will probably kill me if I'm telling, hey man, I'm taking this week off to do Say With Your Chest. Unless it's something that's really paramount that somebody want to get off their chest that's big. You know what I'm saying? Groundbreaking or something like that. And they want to come on the show and talk about it. I don't have no problem with that. But speaking of which, that's what that DM was about. They want to come on and get something off their chest. But yeah, so I don't think so. The only thing that really takes my time right now is broadcasting and the podcast. But the podcast takes my mind off of things and allows me to, you know, recharge, so to speak. But like I said, I'm probably going to not do broadcasting next season because of the new game. Had it not been for the new game, I probably still would do it. But I need some time to, you know, because at the end of the day, wins and losses fall on me. And, you know, I don't want to let Arizona down. So there you have it. Dad's not going to be happy to hear that. He's going to be pissed at me. But
yeah, he probably will be.
I ain't even said anything about it yet, but it's just something I've been considering.
I mean, it's understandable. Because what you don't want to do is burn the candle for both ends. Plus you're working. Plus you're a family man. Plus you got other responsibilities, you know, outside of the league, you know. And so, yeah, just wondering if you thought that you were doing too much. If you thought personally that you were doing too much. Right.
I'm a soldier. I adapt and overcome.
Okay. So, SFL in the know. Do you think that what they are doing is a bad thing for the league?
What they're doing is not bad for the league per se.
Okay.
I don't like the way that they do it. And they gave their reasons. And I said it before. Journalists, when they put out stuff, it's backed by their name. SFL in the know, you can't, they can't be held accountable for whether something's right or wrong. They can't, because they don't put their name out there. They choose to hide in the shadows or whatever. So I don't mind what they do, but put a name behind it. Stand on it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. The only time I have an issue with it is when you it's a possibility of voiding somebody's contract. If you announce something that you know before everybody else do, just because you want to get the story out there before everybody else does.
It technically wouldn't void the contract because it's not the people involved who are putting the information out there.
Okay. All right. As long as that doesn't occur, then I'm fine. The moment that starts having that starts happening, yeah, we got issues. So some crazy questions before I let you go to go handle your business that you have to go. There's someone just knocking at your door trying to get your attention. A genie grants you 3 wishes, but none of them can directly benefit you. What would those 3 wishes be?
End world hunger.
Okay.
World peace. I'm going to have to think about that third one for a minute.
Okay. What is your most treasured material possession?
Hey, come on, man. Most treasured material possession.
These are not hardball questions for you to answer.
My house, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
What do you mean, guess? That's what it is. That's
I couldn't
possession.
think of nothing else. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So,
Oh, I got a close second sitting right here.
Lord, I know what you're getting ready to pull out too. Don't drop it.
My youngest daughter made this for me, and I put it on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
She made me this trophy, and underneath here, it says #1 Dad of the Year.
I love it.
I take pride in this.
Yeah, keep that forever.
Yeah.
So who was your favorite teacher in school, and how did he or she impact your life? I know you're gonna have to think back, a few many moves.
Oh, you got jokes. I would say, without a doubt, my 4th or 5th grade teacher, I think it was, Miss Shootford.
Okay.
She was really nice to me. I'm a learner who learns by doing.
Okay.
Like I'm hands-on. And there was a time in which I struggled with math. And she used to spend all kind of extra time that she didn't have to do for me to understand it. And she used to always tell me, math is a subject you're always going to have to take no matter what major you take in college. You got to get it. And if you struggle now, you're going to struggle later. And I ended up struggling later too, but I got through it. And Miss Shootford, without a doubt, was my favorite teacher I've ever had in my life. I ran into her several years later when I was in my 30s. I ran into her in the street and I said, I know you. You're Miss Shuford. And she didn't remember me until I told her my name. She goes, yeah, I remember you, blah, 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 blah. And I gave her a hug and just let her know how much I appreciate everything she did for me.
I love it. I love it. As it pertains to your IT job, working Diamondbacks, Phoenix Suns, things of that nature. What is one aspect about or one most important factor that you would change about your job if you could? Perhaps something that goes on that if you could change it to make your life a little bit easier, you would.
I love my job. I love what I do. I love how I impact the arena. But that being said, I'm in a sports entertainment industry, and a lot of hours I spent late afternoons, early evenings, and weekends. If I could take that job and roll it into like an 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, whatever you call it. But then again, I won't say 8 hours because I don't even work 8 hours a day. But if I only work like 4.5, 5 hours a day, but it's usually in the evening. And if I could take all of that and change it to mornings, afternoons, it'd be the best job in the world. But there you go.
Okay. There are now 25 hours in a day. How do you spend that extra hour that you just gained?
I break it into 2 segments.
Okay.
One with my family.
Okay.
Will be a half hour. And the second half hour would be scouting / semi.
Of course you. Of course. I kind of knew you was gonna say that before I even.
Yeah.
All right. So you can be a part of any music group. Who would you choose to be a part of? Boys to Men, maybe some Blackstreet, or somebody else entirely?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
This is probably going to be another 2-part answer. I still don't know about the second part.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't like, us bringing up religion, I apologize. But if I had the voice, which I clearly don't, but I love me some Smokey Norfolk.
Okay.
Smokey Norfolk got me through some dark days when my daughter was kidnapped, and I was going through it, and it took me 5.5 months to find her and get reunited with her. Smokey Norfolk has a song called "I Need You Now," and if you ever going through it and you need a higher power to get you through something, go to YouTube and look up Smokey Norfolk, "I Need You Now." He did a live performance in front of a bunch of people, and that song will have you in tears. Like it had that room in tears. So he be one. The second, I'm not sure.
Well, I only asked you for one.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll give you that one then. Smokey Norfolk.
All right. As a kid, did you ever do something wrong and manage to pin it on one of your siblings?
Yes, of course.
What was it?
I'm one of 5 siblings, and there was a time in which I stole some money from my dad and blamed it on someone else.
Did he ever find out?
No.
Oh, we better not have him watch this show. Oh, that was you?
Because that other person got they butt tore off.
Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's it. So, if you had a chance to change your name, what would your new name be? If it's no longer Eddie, you look like you could be a Leroy.
Heck no.
Cletus.
No.
Then I got 2 more and then that's it.
I have no idea.
You have never wanted to have a different name than Eddie?
Not that I can recall. I mean, not that I can recall. You have to get back to me on that. No, not that I can recall. No.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I might have had some role models, but I don't know about sharing their name.
Okay.
My dad was always my biggest hero.
So
when I was, and I'm a junior, so.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
When I was young, when I was little, to me, my dad was the toughest, meanest, fiercest dog out there. I mean, my dad put fear in people's houses when I was little. You know, my dad used to box as an amateur, and back then I thought he was the tallest dude in the world, but my dad is only like 5'5". It's amazing I'm this tall. I think my dad is like 5'5", 5'6", and so. But back when I was little, man, you couldn't tell me nothing, man. I thought my dad was that dude, and so yeah, there you go.
Okay. If you can go back in time and make little changes in your childhood, what is one thing you learned and mastered over the years so that you be an expert at it today?
Where are these questions coming from?
I'm trying to give the community, more insight to Eddie than just, Mr. Say It With Your Chest, all of that. It's more to you than that.
That I could master.
Yeah. That you started learning when you were little, that now you're a master at.
I wish I would have gotten involved in real estate at a younger age.
Okay.
And mastered it. Because I would have not only rental property, I would have, freaking, how they have those little strip malls and you can rent out and you can buy whatever, those little buildings or whatever like they do now. And, I would have a whole strip that all that'd be mine. I wouldn't get, just residential property. I have commercial property for sure. Yeah.
Last question for you. How would you change your life today if the average life expectancy was 400 years? So, if you're gonna live to be 400 and you knew you was gonna live to your 400 years old, what would you do today to change your life? For me, and I'll put it in perspective. So for me, it was I would take the time out to learn every language known to man. Spend a year learning a different language. That way, when I'm 300 some years old, I know how to talk to everybody.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would, when I was younger, I was more of a workout warrior. And I would spend more time, but because once you stop working out, man, it's easy to lose it. And now I got this little gut I'm trying to get rid of. And so I think I would have spent more time working out, because there's no way in the heck I want to spend 400 years or 350, whatever the case it is, out of shape. So I would get in shape and stay in shape.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, that was fun, and I thank you so much for your time. I know you gotta go. Do you have any questions for me before we leave?
Do you ever foresee yourself no longer doing podcasts for the SFL?
Probably if I get to show 500, maybe I'll take a step back. I just love doing it. And even if I didn't have a lot of people watching, I would still do it just because it's something that I love doing. I love talking to people and getting to know who they are behind the person, behind the player, behind the mask, And that's always been a part of my personality ever since I was a little girl. I can go on the playground with a bunch of strangers, a bunch of strange children that I have never met, and I would make fast friends of them.
Another question for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever foresee yourself walking away from the SFL?
No time soon. The only way I would have if life just kind of forced me to, or maybe, I don't have any electricity or I don't have any internet or something like that. I gotta kind of give it up, but I don't think so.
All right.
It's too much of a positive. It's too much of a positive impact. It makes too much of a positive impact on my life to walk away from it. So.
Okay. That's all I got.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. Of course, I cannot let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, which I know you're not going to do. That can be a poem, which you might do. But a simple shout out will do.
I used to write poems when I was a kid, but that was way back in the day.
So what's one? Give me one.
One of them was called, one of my favorite ones was called, what was it called? It was called Junk Food.
Okay, so tell me, what was it? You don't remember, do you?
No, heck no. But it was one of my favorite ones, and I actually won something in school for it too.
Oh man!
Yeah. Back in the day.
Dope. Well,
my youngest brother took on that role. Now he's, he freaking travel across Chicago doing stuff. So shout out to him.
Obviously, you have the ability to do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have won a prize. So you say so. The next time you come on my show, make sure that you have a poem ready, sir. It can be it can be about 4 to 6 lines or something, All the rap music you listen to, I'm sure you got bars, so come on now.
That's my youngest brother. He traveled across Chicago doing that. Yeah, I think he got like 6 CDs now, something like that. Okay. But shout out to the Scorpions, Arizona. I love y'all. I don't know if you saw my show today, but I broke down just a little bit at the end of the show, and trying to take us somewhere we ain't never been. And should we win it, I owe it all to y'all, because without you guys, there is no me. Arizona, I love y'all. I appreciate every last one of y'all for everything you guys do to make my job easier. and wouldn't be here without y'all. There's 27 other teams you could be a part of, but you choose to be here, and I appreciate every last one of y'all for it. There you go.
Okay. To be honest, I actually kind of broke down earlier too when I was announcing who's going to be retiring. Because I had a hand in bringing those brothers here. Out of retirement. But it's not like they're leaving. You can always contact them, but it is something different about it. But I do hope that we are able to to finally turn that corner, because you are the hardest working coach. When anytime you do offense and defense and all of the other hats that you wear, that can take a toll on you.
It does. I'm so glad we had this week off, because if I'd have had to do it this week, man, with my schedule I got going on with work, it would have been tough, because I probably wouldn't even done a show this week, because I needed that time off, man. When I turned in that last playbook, I literally unplugged the Xbox to force myself not to even look at it or turn it on or look at anything, because I'm just tired, man. I need a break. So.
And you just that dedicated that you would. Even though you need to go to bed, you need some rest, you will still be up and doing things you're not supposed to. But we appreciate it, we believe in you. So
appreciate it.
But I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you next week. We're gonna be on the field, man, making it happen. But one of these wonderful teams is gonna come out this wild card, round. So yeah, see you soon.
For sure. Appreciate you.
All right. All right, that is it. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Special thanks goes out to all of my fourth and goal interview guests that made time for me to this week, and Diggy especially. Got some good words for the people before we leave.
Good luck in the playoffs to those who made it. I don't want to say better luck next season to those who didn't, but it's more let me see how to word this. It's a totally different thing for next season. So don't give up hope. Everybody's on the same board, same playing field next season. Everybody's just getting the game and just learning out what all's going on with it. So if you want to call it more fair, you want to call it you got a better chance, then it is what it is. So
all right. Love it. Good luck, everybody. It was a heck of a season, and I'm looking forward to see how it's all going to end. I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week, y'all. But until then, y'all stay safe, treat each other well. Diggy and Striker, we're out.